we've got probably as good a driver right now and as good a competitive show as there is in the United States. We got probably 12 or 14 drivers that follow us everywhere we go, and anyone is capable of winning the race. They've got as good equipment in sprint car racing as there is in the United States everywhere, and I'll tell you the truth, I don't have any favorites. I like them all.
All right, tell us about the point system. Sometimes people or maybe fans get confused, but tell us about the NCRA point.
Well, the passing point system came about years ago, actually before my days with NCRA, but it came about because a lot of the fans didn't like to sit in the grandstand and watch time trials. It was taking away about an hour of time from the racing while we qualified cars. A lot of times the track would get dry slick during this period of time, and with the passing point system, what we do is we have a pill draw for the cars. Every car that comes and signs in, they draw a pill that denotes how they start in their heat race. Then they're given credit, 1.5 points a car for every car they finish in the heat race, and for every car that they pass, plus the finishing position points. We have a point system where the winner gets 59, the second place car gets 55, the third place 51, and down in increments of 4, plus the 1.5 points per car that they pass. The guy with the most points tonight will start on the pole of our feature tonight. It may not be the car that even runs first in a heat race. A guy could start in the back and maybe run second and pass a lot of cars and actually collect more total points than the guy starting on the pole of the race maybe and winning it. So it's a good system. The guys like it. I think it balances out. If a guy runs with us all the time, sometimes they draw a good number and a bad number, but you never know what a good number and a bad number is. If you got a fast car and can get it to the front, you're probably going to do good.
Paul, thanks for joining us here tonight.
Well, I'm glad to be here, JB. Thank you a lot.
Paul Burns with the NCRA, our guest here at Tulsa Speedway.
Thank you, J.B. Haney, as we get the parade 4 abreast down the front chute. The fans are on their feet. Over 3,000 here at the Tulsa Speedway. On the front row, Terry Gray, two-time defending NCRA national champion. Jerry Stone also on the front row. Jerry, who is the current points leader and the only four-time national champion in the NCRA in their 21-year existence. On the second row is Gary Wright. He is third in the season standings and won last night's main event at Muskogee. Also in the second row, Tommy Estes Jr., who won his heat race earlier. He is 8th in the season standings. Billy Turner out of El Reno on the third row with Mike Peters from Wichita, who won this race last year when we were here for United Artists Cable. On the fourth row is Donnie Crawford, the current points leader and 6-time Tulsa Speedway champion, and he's next to Bullet Bob Ewell from Forney, Texas. Jim Bell Jr., Curtis Edens on the fifth row. On the sixth row, Shane Carson from Oklahoma City, along with Broken Arrow's John Worthen. On the seventh row, Mableville, Arkansas native Pete Butler with Las Cruces, New Mexico native Chris Eifert. Bobby Telford, Chris McDermott from Houston, Rick Barsdale, Aaron Lemon, Sammy Phillips, Joe Martin, and Tyler, Texas, Dan Hamilton on the back, and we've got a spin, and somebody's off in turn 2.
It's Tommy Estes Jr., and he almost got upside down, Don, but fortunately, he held it down to all fours. Boy, he really almost took off like a rocket.
Usually marked champion in a normal race. The guys, the leaders, like the top 3 you see here. Gray, Stone. Ooh, look out. Almost had some problems. Gray, Stone, and Wright would start at the back of the pack.
Exactly, but the way they qualify for the A feature, Don, is they get passing points. They draw for position in their heat race, and then the more cars they pass in that heat race to win or come in second is the way they line up for the A feature.
To win the main event, you get 59 points. To finish second, you get 55 points. So the guy that actually finishes second in this race could end up with more points because of the passing point system. You get 1.5 points for every time you pass a car. And Donnie Crawford, who started in 7th in this race, has moved up to 4th. Right now is your leader. It is now Gary Wright. So we have a new leader on lap number 3, and in the back of the pack, Dan Hamilton. And the back straightaway comes to a halt, and we've got a yellow flag on lap number 3. So we're 2 laps down. And the problem is Tyler, Texas, Dan Hamilton.
48.
This is a 30-lap main event for the sprint cars. And while we have a break as they fix Dan Hamilton's machine, J.B. Haney had a chance earlier to talk with the current NCRA leader, Jerry Stone.
Driving car number 24 here tonight at Tulsa Speedway is Jerry Stone. And Jerry Stone, a 4-time NCRA champion. And Jerry, last year you weren't on the circuit. This year you're on the circuit. Tell us about it.
Well, last year I was driving for a different guy named of Barry Grable, and we was on a little more limited budget. Tommy Worth that owns this car, he wanted to run the NCRA and do a little traveling, which I would like to do a little traveling. You know, I like running at Tulsa, but having to be here every week gets to be a little bit of a drag.
Okay, here this week, give us just kind of an itinerary of what is going to happen in driving, say, for the next month.
You mean for us? Well, of course, we run Muskogee last night. Next week, we run Memphis 2 days. The following week, well, I think the World Outlaws are here Friday and Saturday, and we run Hutchinson on Sunday. That gets us into August. I'm not sure where we're at there. We're 2 or 3 days a week, almost the rest of the year now.
Does this mean that you're now driving basically full-time? That's what it boils down to?
Yeah, that's what it turned out to be. You know, I'd almost kicked the habit a few years ago, and then Barry and some other people kind of got me back into a 1 day a week, and now it's almost full-time again. So, but I'm enjoying it. You know, I'd got a little tired and really wasn't enjoying it like I should, and probably wasn't doing as good a job as I should. And I backed off a little and kind of got my second win, and I don't know anything I'd rather be doing.
Jerry, without saying, you're certainly well respected as a driver, and being the veteran that you are, do you look back and maybe look at some of the kids now? How do the young drivers compare when you came up?
Well, you know, you mean to how we were, the kids we had then, or I was? I see some of them that really look good. It's just like always, you've got some that got the natural talent, and some that in 20 years will never have it. So, you know, we got some pretty good young ones coming up. In fact, it's making me feel a little older.
Well, they're pushing you now. Keep in mind, you're leading the NCRA division right now, and they're breathing right down your neck. Are you going to be able to hold on?
Well, we're not going to give up without trying. I guarantee you, we're going to dig our fingernails in real deep if we can.
Okay, Jerry, best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Jerry Stone, car number 24 tonight here at Tulsa Speedway.
2 laps down, 28 laps to go for this 30-lap NCRA main event. Your leaders through 2 laps, Terry Gray, Gary Wright, Jerry Stone, Donnie Crawford in 4th. Bob Ewell in 5th. Terry Gray, your leader out of Bartlett, Tennessee, has never had much luck here at Tulsa Speedway.
No, he's snake bit for the Tulsa Speedway, but I've seen that man drive at other racetracks, and he is a tough competitor. In the Sunoco car, the 93.5, the almost a number car of Donnie Crawford pulls around Jerry Stone to take over 3rd.
Trouble out of turn 1 and 2.
Was that Turner?
Billy Turner out of El Reno gets back in shape after he went off the track. No yellow. We're 4 laps down. Terry Gray continues to lead Gary Wright. Donnie Crawford. Jerry Stone now moves back into 3rd. Bob Ewell hangs in for 5th.
It's a tremendous seesaw battle between Crawford and Stone, arch rivals out there on that racetrack. Race fans will tell you that one of them wears a white hat and one of them wears a black hat.
And depending on who you talk to is wearing the black and the white hat, huh?
Exactly. There he goes, shot like a rocket. Donnie Crawford, whoa!
He almost touched there. So the battle for third right now. Terry Gray holding off Gary Wright. And Stone and Crawford seem to be reeling both of those gentlemen in.
Tell you what, it's just a great battle in those top 4 cars, Don.
Look at Crawford get the inside. Almost overtakes Gary Wright for second.
Wright's trying to get first place away from Terry Gray, taking that low road. It's anybody's race. It's a drag race down that front straightaway.
7 laps down.
And there he goes. Gary Wright pulls into the lead. And here comes Crawford, taking over second away from Gray. And that's Sunoco, number 93.5.
Gary Wright, third in the standings. He won last night's main event. He's out of Hooks, Texas. Third in the season standings. Jerry Stone holds a 65-point edge over Terry Gray in the season standings, and Gary Wright is 90 points behind Stone.
Now it's a Red River war, isn't it? Texas and Oklahoma. Of course, rumor has it, I think, that Texas is northern Mexico anyway.
Gary Wright runs into some lap traffic. Gets by Phillips without any problem. Crawford gets by. And now Terry Gray and Jerry Stone fall a little bit farther back. We're about to approach our 10th completed lap. 10 laps down. 20 to go, 1/3 of the way through on this NCRA main event. $3,000 for the winner of this event. And your leader there is Gary Wright. Donnie Crawford in second.
Gary Wright getting a real good job. Really good ride out of that number 5 car right there. That Black Beauty that you just saw go by.
Battle for third now between those two gentlemen.
Right there. Bullet Bob Ewell now seems to appears to be reeling in Jerry Stone.
Wright in first, Crawford in second, Gray in third. The battle for fourth between Stone, 24, and Ewell, 85.
Wright now seems to be pulling away from Crawford, coming into lap traffic.
Oh, they're all in lap traffic now.
Of course, how many times, Don, have we seen Donnie Crawford be this far behind a lead car and reel that first place car in?
We've seen it a lot this
win.
summer, haven't we?
Boy, that's for sure.
They are in some kind of traffic, and there's a battle there between Terry Gray and Jerry Stone for third.
Gary Wright's winning the battle for lap traffic.
Yeah. And remember, Stone and Gray battling for third place, but they're battling for the season points lead in the NCRA circuit right now.
It's a good race between those two good race car drivers.
In the 2 previous NCRA events here at the Tulsa Speedway, Jerry Stone won the first one in May, and Shane Carson from Oklahoma City won the NCRA event last month.
And Don, here comes Bullet Bob Ewell to get between those 2 cars, and right behind them, Shane Carson. So we've got a 4-way battle for second place.
16 laps
third
down.
Place, pardon me, third place.
There's your battle.
What a great show right there.
Oh, yeah. Ewell in car 85 in third. Gray 4th, Stone 5th, Carson 6th.
Bullet Bob now is pulled into third.
You could throw a blanket on those 4 cars. 17 laps down. Gary Wright continues the lead. Donnie Crawford in traffic, about a 1/4 of a lap behind him.
And there's Shane Carson now trying to get by Stone.
Just as Wright goes into turn 4, Crawford goes into turn 3. So unless we have a yellow somewhere along the way, Gary Wright from Hooks, Texas is in great shape. Crawford was right behind him on his heels, and they got in the lap traffic, and Gary Wright has reeved his way through 19 laps to hold a 1/4 lap lead over Donnie Crawford. The battle for third right now. And Bob Ewell has it all to himself. Jerry Stone in 4th. Shane Carson in 5th. Terry Gray drops back to 5th.
Shane Carson gets by Gray. Now he's going to try and start reeling in the 24 car, Jerry Stone. There's a good shot at Dan Hamilton.
Oh, no. Hamilton has his second bobble. That almost cost a yellow. No yellows. 20 laps down. 10 laps to go for the NCRA main event. $3,000 to the winner out of the $12,000 purse.
Stone getting a little bobble out of that turn, too, and Hamilton right there to overtake him. He bobbles again, but there's a good shot at Gary Wright, your leader. Really doing a good job in that number 5 car. I thought Crawford was really going to be able to bring him in, but he just didn't quite do it right, really getting a good ride. Doing an excellent job with Muskogee on the Friday night show. And Stone takes back over his place away from Bob Buell. Bob Buell having his problems. Yellow flag, Don.
Yellow flag on lap number 23. So we're 22 laps down, and this should be interesting.
This could really be good.
22 down, 8 to go for the $3,000 first prize out of the $500,000 season purse sanctioned by the NCRA. The NCRA guys will be back again in September 20th and 21st, and then again October 11th and 12th. We mentioned Terry Gray has not had much luck here. His last win here was July of 1988. Andy Hillenberg won the NCRA race here in Tulsa in 1989 and had a chance to see Andy before the races started this evening. So we're 21 laps down, 9 to go. Gary Wright in first, Donnie Crawford second, although third in the lineup. Bob Buell third in the race, fifth in the lineup. Stevens Jr., by the way, was in second in the lineup, but he headed to the pits. Crawford gets a clean break out of turn 2, and now he is indeed second in the lineup and second in the race. They put the lap cars in the lineup after the yellow flag. And right now, Shane Carson third, Jerry Stone is fourth. And Gary Wright doesn't seem to be daunted by the yellow flag because he continues to have about a quarter lap lead over that gentleman, Donnie Crawford.
Donnie Crawford had his car set up to run low. He's now running a little high in turns 1 and 2 and down low in 3 and 4. There's Stone. He's going to try and reel Crawford in.
Jerry Stone bird dogging him. Shane Carson has a bobble out of turn 2, and he bobbles his way down to 4th or 5th, and Bob Buell makes a charge.
There goes Stone right by Crawford.
That's the battle right there for second between Stone, who is the current points leader in the NCRA circuit, and Donnie Crawford, who is the current points leader at the Tulsa Speedway for the sprint cars and a 6-time track champion.
Right, just stretching out that lead now over Stone.
25 laps down and 5 to go for the Hooks, Texas native Gary Wright, who is third in the season standings. Coming in, he was 90 points behind Jerry Stone. And not that many points behind, just 25 points behind Terry Gray. So he will probably indeed surpass Terry Gray for at least second in the season standings, and could very well pass Jerry Stone, depending on the passing points. But I would imagine Jerry Stone should continue to lead after this race on the season standings, and Gary Wright, if he can hang on and win this one, will probably move up to second in the season standings. Right now, though, there were 27 laps down. We got 3 laps to go, actually 2.5. Gary Wright into turn 3, into turn 4.
Gary Wright now running that low road, get a little moisture.
Crawford hits the high road, Stone in second. Crawford drops way back to third. Shane Carson in 4th, Bob Buell in 5th.
White flag coming out. 4 more left-hand turns for Gary Wright. Good shot of Wright. Really coming on strong here towards, I would say, the end of the season, but relatively close to the end of the season.
He's going to hit some lap traffic, though, in turns 3 and 4. Stone, does he have enough time? I don't think so. Gary Wright from Hooks, Texas. The second son, maybe, compared to Billy Sims, who is probably the most well-known athlete out of Hooks, Texas. But Gary Wright has made a name for himself here at Tulsa Speedway. Jerry Stone finishes second. It's the first ever win for Gary Wright here at the Tulsa Speedway. J.B. Haney will come back and visit with the NCRA champion, main event champion. After these words from our sponsors, as Checkered Flag continues on United Artists Cable.
They're like mermaids.
1, 2, 3.
Here tonight, so you know, it's just been a real good weekend.
Very impressive win, I might say, because it looked like at the beginning you were going to really hook up with Jerry Stone and maybe have a 2-car race, but suddenly along about midway in the 30 lapper, you broke out, and it one point there. Had it not been for the caution with about 8 laps to go, I mean, you were just home free.
The car was working real well. We kind of set it up to where we would be good at the end of the race, but tonight it was a real good track. You run either top or the bottom, and we set our car where we could run either way. And a lot of guys, they had to be at top or had to be at the bottom, so it kind of give us a little advantage. But the car was just real good all night.
Gary, do you get on a roll in racing? Now, you win last night in Muskogee, and you come here and you win tonight. Is it like maybe in baseball where you go 3 out of 4 for a couple of 3 days, or how do you compare it?
It really is. We were on a roll. We had a sweep here a few weeks ago at Royce City there in right out of Dallas, and then we went up in South Dakota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin with the Outlaws running, and we were running, real good with them. But we run 6th one night, but then we broke a steering one night. We blew a head gasket one night, had a flat one night. So it's just like anything. You go up and then you go right back down.
Where do you go after Tulsa here? Now, you've won 2 in a row, as we mentioned. Where does the next stop take you?
Well, we're really excited about this. We're gonna go home and try to regroup we'll only have about a day and a half, and then we're off to Kokomo, Indiana for a World of Outlaws show on a Wednesday night. And after that, I have got the opportunity to drive a Winston Cup car at the Pocono Raceway. It'd be, I guess, the 21st on Sunday. It'll be a Winston Cup race for Mr. Bill White out of Dallas. It's Action Rent-Owned store. He has several of them in Texas and throughout the country, but we're going to get the opportunity to run with the big boys, and we're not going to try to do anything fancy. Just make the race and run all day.
Well, it looked to me like that's what you did here tonight. You just got out and you just ran, but you were in the lead and you were in complete control.
Yeah, Tulsa, the first time I ever come here, I had a terrible crash down the front straightaway, and but we've always run good here, always in the first 5. I really like the track. It's always a real good track. You can run the top or the bottom, so, it's just a real good track.
Well, Gary, congratulations again on your win here at Tulsa Speedway tonight. You put on a great show.
Thank you very much.
Gary Wright, the winner in the sprint division here tonight at Tulsa Speedway.
Ready for our final race of the night from Tulsa Speedway. It's the Mid-America Promoter Series Super Modified race, our 3rd such main event of the summer here at Tulsa Speedway. John Hunt on the pole. He's won the previous 2 MAPS races. He's first in the MAPS series. And we get a fault screen from Chuck Sterling, so we'll try it again. John Hunt winning the previous 2 MAPS main events and is the current season leader in the MAP series. However, 2nd in the Tulsa Speedway season standings to David Chappell, who will start 7th position. Along the front row with John Hunt, who won his heat race earlier tonight. Jack Lane Jr., who also won his heat race, as well as Charlie Frazier on the 2nd row. He's next to Jim Bailey, who raced very well in his heat race, and Buddy Ginn, who won his heat race, is in the 5th position next to Ryan McClure in the blue 23. McClure 4th in the MAPS standings. So this should be a rather entertaining.
And the move up,
20 laps.
Gentlemen, Larry Ring and Alan Lemons moving up from the B feature. So they're starting at the rear of this pack. They'll try to work their way through traffic from that last starting spot.
22 cars in this thing.
A lot of horsepower.
And again, the Super Modifieds had all kinds of problems in their heat races, as well as the B feature. Let's see how they do here in the 20-lap main event.
Well, you get a good start this time, Don. Green flag from Chuck Sterling.
And the leader is no surprise. It's John Hunt from Tulsa. Hunt continues to look for moisture on the outside. Up top, Jack Lane Jr. in the bottom is in 2nd. But again, I say comfortably, he's fighting off Charlie Frazier for 3rd. David Chappell in the Miller Genuine Draft. Black car number 50 in 5th. And they get through turn 2 in good shape. Good job, fellas.
You bet.
As the pack gets out of turn 2, going out of turn 4 is your leader. And that's John Hunt.
John Hunt, we talked about earlier, he's looking to win 3 championships this year. He's trying his best to win Tulsa championship. His championship at Hans Creek County Speedway as well as the MAP Series. And he is really knocking on that back door of David Chappell, trying to win that Tulsa Speedway championship.
John Hunt won the main event here when we were here a couple of weeks ago for the regular Tulsa Speedway series.
And he is really stretching out that lead over Jack Lane Jr. And that's the battle now for second, right there in your picture.
Jack Lane Jr. on the inside, Charlie Frazier on the outside. For third place, or rather for second place, as Mark just mentioned. Ooh, Frazier
high that time. Too high.
Buddy Ginn in fourth. David Chappell overtakes him for fourth. So a good battle for second and another battle right behind those gentlemen for fourth place. Right now, though, the leader is John Hunt, and he's blowing the doors off these other four competitors. He is showing his heels to the field, and we're 5 laps down, and the super mods are showing some character here. No yellow flags.
Good shot at David Chappell in the Miller Genuine Draft 50 car doing his work.
He's ahead of Buddy Ginn there. And again, that battle is for fourth, and Chappell bobbles drastically, and Ginn overtakes him.
Good shot of Kenneth Walker in the 2 car.
And look at Alan Lemons. Larry Perkins there. Alan Lemons has moved up from the very back of the pack to 6th, and a yellow flag on lap number 7. I think it was Carl Gregg Jr., 82, in the orange 82, that had some problems in the back chute. So we'll get a yellow with 6 laps down, and we'll take a break and come back as they get lined up. We're in the super modified main event, 6 laps down and 14 laps to go to wrap it up here at Tulsa Speedway.
Astoria Elementary School has a brand new teacher.
We were expecting a Miss O'Hara.
The kids look up to him.
His head is so big that he can't wear any hats.
He's like no one they've ever seen.
He's big. Is he a wrestler?
He's Arnold Schwarzenegger, kindergarten cop.
You mean you eat other people's lunches? Stop it!
From Ivan Reitman, rated PG-13.
Make plans this summer to visit Oklahoma's only professional road racing facility, Hallett Motor Racing Circuit. Just 30 minutes from downtown Tulsa at the Highway 99 exit, Cimarron Turnpike. Hallett is a full-service racing facility, offering the spectator and competitor over 20 weekends of on-track competition.
Welcome back to Tulsa Speedway. 6 laps down, 14 to go for the last race of the night from Tulsa Speedway, the super modified main event. Your leader from green flag, I'll tell you this yellow flag, has been John Hunt from Tulsa. John won his heat race earlier, has finished in the top 10 in his first 3 seasons at the Speedway in the super modifieds, and in fact was the Rookie of the Year in 1988 when he finished 8th in the season standings. He is currently 2nd in the Tulsa Speedway Supermod standings, 1st in the MAP Series, however, and he's leading this race ahead of Charlie Frazier and David Chappell, with Jack Lane Jr. in 4th, Buddy Ginn in 5th, and Alan Lemons has moved from the very back of the pack into 6th. There's Chappell, who's in 3rd.